Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. The Methodist Church has said it is to consult with its members on whether they should revise its understanding of marriage in light of the new gay marriage law. Over 250,000 members will be asked for their views, with the findings being submitted to the Church's decision-making body in February. Under Parliament's new same-sex marriage legislation, both the denomination and the individual minister have to opt in before a gay wedding can take place on the premises. Susan Howdell, chairwoman of the Methodist Same-Sex Marriage and Civil Partnership Working Party, said, "We do urge as many Methodists as possible to respond thoughtfully and prayerfully to the consultation in order to help us to gauge the mind of the Church. At present, the Church says marriage is a gift of God, and that God intends it to be a lifelong union in body, mind and spirit of one man and one woman." Meanwhile, evangelicals within the Church of England say a report released last week recommending their church mark gay unions shows evidence of deep and serious flaws. Sir Joseph Pilling, who led the report into church teaching on human sexuality, said same-sex unions could be marked by special services as an act of worship, but claimed these would not be blessings or part of liturgy. But the Church of England Evangelical Council responded by saying, "We believe that Scripture offers us a clear vision for our flourishing, including how we live best as sexual creatures." It continued by calling on evangelicals to renew their commitment to biblical teaching and to pray that the Church of England as a whole will do the same. Norman Baker, the Lib Dem minister in charge of government drugs policy, has said legalising cannabis needs to be considered. Mr Baker, who's currently completing a comparison of international drugs policies, made the comments while addressing a Commons Home Affairs Committee. Mr Baker has previously said he thinks cannabis is no more harmful than tobacco or alcohol and called for a softening of the law on the drug. He was asked by the committee whether he still favours such a move.
I think it needs to be considered along with anything else, but that's not my prime objective, and I'm not advocating at this particular moment. What I'm saying is that there is a study on, international comparative study, which is designed to look at all aspects of drug treatment, of drug policy across various countries, and we should all be prepared to follow the evidence, to use that phrase again, and see where it takes us.
In 2004, cannabis was downgraded to a Class C drug, but the number of addicts receiving NHS treatment in the following 3 years doubled, and there was also a surge in the number of under-16s treated for mental illness. As a result, the drug was restored to Class B by Labour in 2009. Some news in brief now, and a free speech reform backed by the Christian Institute is to finally become law. From February next year, police will no longer be able to use Section 5 of the Public Order Act to arrest people just because others may find their words or behaviour insulting. The Northern Ireland Justice Minister David Ford has announced he will hold a consultation on weakening Northern Ireland's abortion laws. He hopes to publish the consultation documents by Easter. The 1967 Abortion Act applies to England, Scotland and Wales, where 1 in 5 pregnancies now end in an abortion. But the Act does not apply to Northern Ireland. Abortion is only allowed in the province in the rarest of circumstances, like if the mother's life is at immediate risk. Senior High Court Judge Sir Paul Coleridge says a lack of support from colleagues for his pro-marriage beliefs is part of the reason he has decided to retire early. Sir Paul says there are hundreds in the judiciary who agree with him in private but are too frightened to say so publicly. He plans to use his retirement to focus on his work with the Marriage Foundation, a charity he set up last year to combat the culture of broken families. And Michael Salter, the Prime Minister's broadcasting advisor, is to enter into a gay marriage with Rob Church, who was formerly Deputy Director for Civil Service Reform. Mr Salter recently advised David Cameron over the redefinition of marriage, and when asked if the Prime Minister would be attending the wedding, Mr Salter said they hadn't yet sent out invitations. Michael's not having a gay marriage in spite of being a Conservative. He's having a gay marriage because he's a Conservative, a friend told the Evening Standard, echoing comments made by the Prime Minister during his 2011 party conference speech. Finally, today, a woman who had long-term health issues, including spina bifida, but fought for others' right to life, has died aged 58. For 30 years, Alison Davis led No Less Human, a campaign group which aims to defend the value of all human life from conception and to promote a positive view of disability. Her motivation to fight for others came after reading about a doctor who persuaded the parents of a baby suffering from spina bifida that she was better off dead. At the time, Alison wrote to the doctor. She said, "I pointed out that life with spina bifida and hydrocephalus could be full and happy, and that it was in any case wrong to deliberately kill any child on grounds of his or her disability." Alison had previously struggled with her own wish to die for a number of years, but later wrote, "If I had died, I would have missed the best years of my life. No one would ever have known that the future held something better for me, not in terms of physical ability, but in the support and love of friends." Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.